Welcome everybody, we are here with the finals from the Liverpool Regional Championship. My name is Philip Leziewski from Limitless TCG and I'm joined by the lovely Nicholas Anthony Pierce.
Thank you, Philip.
Yeah, we are very excited to bring you this match. On the right side we have Rick Verwaal with the Garbodor Drampa deck playing against Karl Peter's Ninetales deck. It's going to be a very interesting game and I would say if you're ready, we are ready and we're going to start right now.
Now, yes. So, the timer has started and we have given it all to the players and Karl is playing on his phone. Amazing.
So,
there we go.
There we go. Both are starting and it looks like
Rick's going first.
Rick is going first.
Yeah. And he's going to take it to Mulligan draw as well.
And right off the bat we should say we were unable to get a better timer, so the first timer is going to run down 15 minutes and then another timer is going to run down 60 minutes. So in total we have 75 minutes best of 3 for this finals game.
Yeah, exactly. Just like it has been before. So yeah, as you said, Rick will be going first. He starts off with an Ultra Ball. He's going to be discarding, it looks to be a Magma base and some supporter. I can't see which one exactly. And much like we've seen a few too many times yesterday, or for me at least today, and I'm sure you saw many times yesterday, Tapu Lele for a turn 1 Bridget. Kind of not really surprising anyone.
Yeah, that's like the standard play. Basically not any deck, but most decks would like to do on turn 1. Sometimes you are unable to pull it off, but especially on stream we've seen players just being able to do it basically every game they can.
Yes, of course. And we see there that Rick has opted to go for 2 Trubbish and a Drampa. Now, unlike, I believe that Rick is playing 3 or 4 Drampa, unlike 3. So he won't maybe have the same problems that Ryan had of only playing 2, but still opted to go for 3 Trubbish, as maybe he feels like it's like with Ryan, it's important to have access to as many Trubbishes as possible because they might get knocked out quickly.
What's actually interesting is he didn't have an energy attachment.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you didn't, you're right.
Usually you'd like to play a Bridget and then also attach an energy maybe to the Drampa to be able to power up a Berserk in the coming next 2 turns, but he was unable to do that. So now I'm actually surprised he still went for the Bridget, but apparently his hand was good enough and he was feeling like he should get more Pokemon out. Maybe he has some Garbodors in hand already that he wanted to evolve. And he was feeling like playing an N or something right now is worse than just getting Pokemon in play, and he might even still with the Garbodor, with the Drampa, I should say, with the energy. Yeah,
possibly either that or maybe if he would have considered alternatively going for a Sycamore, maybe there's just a bunch of stuff he didn't want to discard and maybe that's why he went for the Bridget instead. But it is like we said before, missing a turn 1 energy can be pretty huge, so we'll see whether this ends up coming back to bite him. But I mean, it is very, very early days in this stage of the game, so it's impossible to say one way or the other at this point, really.
While we were talking about Rick's first energy miss, Karl actually attached an energy to his Vulpix, played a Bridget, only put down 2 Vulpix, which is interesting because he does play artillery, so he didn't go for a Remoraid. And then he just used Beacon to grab himself a Tapu Lele and a Ninetales, but Rick is following up with an N, hopefully drawing into an energy, but while he plays an N, he's basically nullified the Beacon attack.
Yeah, maybe it's possible that Karl's gotten very unlucky and he's maybe he's actually prized 2 Remoraids and a Vulpix. I mean, it seems unlikely, but you never know.
Yeah, it could definitely be a possibility. And it seems like, oh my gosh, Rick with the energy again.
Oh dear,
and
okay.
These things are very bad in the finals. If you're in the finals, the last thing you want to see is whiffing 2 energies 2 turns in a row.
Yeah, like whiffing 1 energy, maybe you can recover from that, but 2?
Yeah, that's very bad.
Starting to get very, very ugly. And we do see that Karl just had the Tapu Lele as well, so he's going to be able to grab himself another supporter, probably at this point a Sycamore, and he'll just be able to really set himself up nicely. And I mean, off of this, he's more than likely to get all the Ninetales that he needs to just start putting damage pressure on, and this pressure is going to be even more than it would usually be, exactly because he's missed energy attachments, so it's just, there's no way for Rick to mount counter pressure to that.
Yeah. Already Karl can put down damage counters, probably targeting down the Drampa, because that seems to be the main threat. Drampa is actually able to handily 2-shot alone a Ninetales. Although I don't think, no, Rick doesn't play Kukui, so with the rough seas coming into play, it might throw off the Drampa damage calculations. So we'll see that coming into play later. But for now, Karl's just content doing 50 damage to the Drampa and kind of softening it up for later turns.
Yeah, Kukui came in really big for Ryan. It was one of the ways he was able to really, get those little extra push that he needs to get the big knockouts onto the Ninetales. And in fact, I was talking to Ryan just after he finished his top 4 game. In that game too, he was only one Kukui away from winning the game, but he missed Versus Seeker, which is why he ended up losing that game 2, and then of course he ended up losing game 3. Yeah. And he basically said to me that it's one of his worst matchups, and especially with Center Lady, it becomes like 1,000 times worse for him.
Yeah, that's true. Karl's list is really tuned to beat those Garbodor Drampa decks.
Yeah.
But one thing that could be in Rick's favor is that he plays the Team Flare Grunt, and we just saw how important it is to discard energies off of the Alone and Ninetales with the Acid Spray. So now he has also the Team Flare Grunt to just ensure that energy discard if he wants to.
Yeah, yes, he does, and that is really huge because essentially it's like a guaranteed Acid Spray. You don't need to flip a coin.
Yeah, you can use some better attack.
Yeah, and then not only that, if you need to discard 2 energy, you get the 1 guaranteed, and then maybe you flip a coin, you get ahead to get to discard 2.
You can do some huge turns with the Acid Spray.
So in the meantime, another Ice Blade, it looks like, from Karl. He's opted to target down the Tapu Lele instead.
Karl only plays 2 choice bands, so he really doesn't want to rely on choice bands for those Blizzard Edge knockouts. Also, we see his discard pile, the 1 choice band is already on top of his discard pile, so now he just wants to make sure he can knock out those GXs without having to have a choice band as well.
Yeah, definitely. Rick was able to field blower away one of the choice bands. That was what happened there. So that's one hitting the discard of pile already. And unlike some other decks, like say maybe Decidueye, something base could use Hollow Hunt to get stuff like that back. Once those choice bands are gone, they're gone. There's no way for Karl to really recover them. So it can be really, really huge. Speaking of really, really huge, there is a big play as Karl will be able to do a Blizzard Edge for a knockout on this Tapu Lele.
Yeah, he's also had a rough series this turn, so he could heal down to 50. The Tapu Lele did 80 damage, so now he's healed to 50. And he's also thinking about playing a Pokemon Center Lady actually, but right now it looks like he's actually opting not to do it and just attack without playing a supporter card. This is very interesting, but it feels like if he keeps damage on the Ninetales, it makes damage calculations a little bit more awkward, and maybe it forces Rick to play into a nice path.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why he's doing that. He's thinking, hold on, it doesn't make much sense for me to heal all this right now because there's nothing that Karl can do to make it so that it's an actual KO, but if he does do more damage to me, then all of a sudden Ice Path becomes a lot more threatening, so it actually makes more sense to not heal this time, which seems crazy, but it actually is the case here.
Yeah, so now Rick is starting to power up his Drampa, so it's probably unlikely that we're going to see an attack out of him this turn. Although now he's licensed up the Tapu Lele and retreats and actually uses Big Wheel GX, so apparently his hand wasn't too great. Big Wheel GX is just a nice consistency boost for those Garbodor Drampa decks and just pushes them over the edge sometimes. It's great in the early game, but sometimes also used in the mid game or even late game after an end to recover.
Yeah, definitely, and once again it forces Karl into the situation of, or I say once again, sort of referring to it happening to other players in the past. It's okay, if I don't end my opponent now, like the next turn is probably going to hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And as Karl goes into his turn now, he doesn't look like. Oh, he has a Remoraid in hand now. So you choose. In fact, he has 2.
Actually, it has 2 Remoraids. So it's interesting that he didn't go for them with the first turn Bridget.
No, I think that tells me that they were both prized, and he literally just got them off the 2 prizes now. Because he took 2 prizes with the Blizzard Edge, remember?
Oh right. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And probably just took the 2 Remoraids. That's actually that might be actually very crucial because Octillery is a very good card in this matchup. Obviously, that's why Rick wants to shut it down with Garbotoxin. But even still, you need to force the Garbotoxin, so getting out Octillery is still a pretty good option. But other than a lot of other Ninetales, this Karl doesn't actually play Float Stones, so there's no immediate option to get this Tapu Lele out of the active squad instead of retreating. It's actually interesting that he plays Artillery without Float Stones in his deck.
Yeah, it's a bit risky actually, because that's the thing about Artillery. It's got a retreat cost of 2, so you need to attach it. I mean, you do have double colorless energy, so you can attach one of those to retreat, but you want to use those for Ice Blades or for discarding a Blizzard Edge.
Looking at his deck list, he does have one out. He plays the single Olympia and also for Versus Seeker. So I think he'll be fine without Float Stones most of the time.
Yeah.
Lightning Star is not really viable against him. Now he decides to, in fact, play the Pokemon Center Lady, so there's no damage on his Alolan Ninetales anymore, and he's just content leaving the Tapu Lele active because it's not really threatened by anything immediately.
No, but here's a big opportunity for Rick, right? So because he's actually playing the Magma base now, if he has a double colorless, a choice band, and another Pokemon to bench, he actually has a knockout on his Tapu Lele. So if he can get all that in one turn, he'll actually be able to start pushing towards a comeback, which will be really good for him.
But what is also interesting is the question is if you even want to do that, if you have it, because of course it's a huge knockout, but then another energy and you're getting knocked out right back, and there goes your main hitter, so you might not even want to attack with the Drampa this turn.
And it looks like indeed that's what Rick has already thought of, because he's just attached a Floatstone to it, so he's sort of committed to that to not doing that play already.
Yeah. Kind of unfortunate that he had to promote the Drampa already to use the big wheel, but he's working with what he has.
Yeah, exactly. As Rick he plays an N, does draw 6. Did he get anything really useful? I'm not sure if he did. What options does he have available at this point? He does have another Garbodor. That's pretty good. I guess if he has Garbotox and Garbodor as well, that would be it's pretty much almost as good as he could ask for. But no, he's going to have to be content with a righteous Edge for 20.
Yeah, I think Karl can just be fine with powering up some more Ninetales on the bench, just setting up a spot. He's not really threatened that much right now. We don't know exactly how many items are in his discard pile, but surely not too many. But actually, right now he's just going for probably seems to be Ice Blade to the active.
Yeah, he's going to end first.
There are no viable targets on the bench. Also, you don't really want to turn on Garbodor's, Drampa's, Berserk attack.
No, yeah.
So probably just attacking with 50 damage to the active.
Also, something really cool that happened that turn was Karl played down the Rough Seas and actually healed off the 20 that each of his Remorates took from the Magma base the previous turn, so they're fairly fresh now.
Yeah. Now, if he attacks for 50 to the active, he can follow it up with a Choice Band, 80 damage next turn. If he wants to do that, also it just puts the Drampa in a better Ice Path range,
Yeah.
Like only little amounts of damage are now then enough to just Ice Path and move the damage over to Drampa and heal yourself completely by taking a knockout.
Yeah.
But he might even go for 50 to the bench, although I don't know what target he would go after then. Maybe the Garbodor with the energy is the only thing that makes a little sense, but I think the 50 to the active would be his best line of play right now.
He has got that artillery out now with playing the Ultra Ball, so he's Rick's going to really want to find that Garbotox and Garbodor as quickly as he can, because the more I almost feel like the more cards you draw with artillery, the more likely you are to win any given game, just because it's just on the pure
pure advantage.
Yeah, so what in terms of what it lets you accomplish is just absolutely incredible. And as you can see now, Karl has 3 Ninetales set up.
Yeah, already. Now he has, I think, 5 items in his discard pile. Of course, we're not quite sure about that. He actually opted to do 50 damage to the Troubleshift Float Zone. If that is to evolve into a Garbotox and Garbodor later on, he can knock it out with another Ice Blade. So maybe that's what he's going for.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. That's actually really clever, because it means that now Rick has to either evolve the other Trubbish and hope to find a float stone for that, or he just accepts that basically that Garbodor will always be within an exact range of an Ice Blade knockout, because the Garbotox and Garbodor only has 100 HP. Like people are used to obviously the Trash Launch one having 120, but the Garbotox one only having 100 means that 2 Ice Blades will always knock it out.
And Karl obviously knows that if you can keep up the advantage with the artillery is most likely to win this game.
Yeah.
So keeping the Garbotox and Garbodor out of play is a very viable option for him.
Yeah, and it's in his best interest to keep
In
that.
his best interest.
To keep.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, to keep that Garbodor out of play. So.
And so now we might see yet another acid spray, which has already been effective for Ryan.
Yeah, indeed. Although, do we see? Oh, there's the team flag run. Is he gonna do what that play we mentioned?
And it looks like he is.
Yeah. So he's eyeing up the flag run, or possibly changing his mind. No, no, it is. Yeah. The secret flag run.
Going for a flag run as a spray, trying to remove all the energies off of that Ninetales, and basically making it less of a threat. And now we're just gonna update the timer.
Yep. So
putting 60 minutes in. There we go. Yep. Now the timer should be correct.
Yep.
Like almost correct at least. And as we saw, and while we were setting up the timer, we missed the acid spray.
It was ahead. Oh wow, we missed the hype moment. Oh, that's a shame.
I mean, still Karl plays 40 ECE, of course, so he still can use Ice Blade as well as Ice Path with a single energy attachment, but it kind of removes the threat of the Blizzard Edge, which is able to knock out those EXs and GXs, mostly GXs of course, from Rick, which is obviously what Karl wants to do.
Yeah, and not only that, but it means that now Karl has to have a DCE to do the attack. He can't just, because if he left one energy on, you can draw a water or a DCE to do the Ice Blade or Ice Path.
You can always just discard a DCE with Righteous Edge as well.
Exactly. So that's a really, really extremely strong turn for Rick.
Looks like Karl's eyeing up an Olympia in his discard pile.
Yes, he is, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to play versus Seeker for it. Although that is another item in Karl's discard pile. I'm sure Rick will love to see that happen.
It looks like he's calculating something out. Right now we don't know what is in his hand, so we can't really say what he's going for. An option with the Olympia would be to just flat out knock out the Trubbish this turn with an Ice Blade. Also, you could just damage the Drampa a little bit more. You could also put damage to the active to make it possible to knock it out with a Kukui next turn. Since the Garbodor probably isn't going to retreat, that's a viable option too. And we can see between Rough Season and Olympia, there's just so much healing going on. We've already seen the Pokemon Center Lady come into play as well. So it's really hard for Nick because he needs to two-shot the Ninetales, but two-shotting Ninetales becomes really hard with that much healing going on.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Karl, the option Karl decided to take was indeed to just Ice Blade the Trubbish, so Rick needed to find now both a Float Stone and a Garbodor if he wants to get the Garbatox and Garbodor out, but at this point, I mean, the damage has already been done. I mean, Karl's gotten so much advantage off of that artillery already that it's going to be really hard for Rick to recover. I mean, he does have options. Rick is not out of this game completely, not by any stretch of the imagination, but there is... Oh, okay, it looks like he's probably going to go for that double sort of flag run plus Acid Spray play again.
He's just trying to remove all of Karl's energies and try to net himself some time by doing that.
Actually, the other thing that makes this really clever is that the more he does this, the more he forces Karl to play Aqua Patches, and the more Aqua Patches he plays, the more trash launch
gets. But it doesn't look like his hand does have too many options, and he actually wasn't able to go for Team Flareon this turn because he had no other cards in hand, so he just went for a straight up Sycamore, which is fine as well.
Yeah.
He can still go for 100 damage from the Acid Spray and maybe a Heads. So he's still fine, and another Acid Spray Heads. Well, I guess Acid Sprays are kind of going against Karl.
Yeah, exactly.
In these past few games.
Although it wasn't enough to beat him last time, so you never know. Should be interesting in any case. So, yeah. Now, if you're Karl, what do you do? I mean, it's not as bad as last time. There was no flag run there, so you can attach a water or a DC. Maybe do something else.
Yeah, you can surely just attach a water and maybe attack the active Garbodor now. It would be interesting to know how many items there are in this discard pile exactly. There should be. Oh, there's a counter. There are 9 apparently.
Wow.
9 items. So that's the magic number actually. So now that Garbodor with the choice band is able to one-shot Karl's Ninetales, which is actually huge.
Yeah, that is way more than Karl ever wants to play ever. Like this is.
I really can't imagine him already having 9 items in this discard pile.
Yeah.
I mean, he only plays 14, so that's actually so big.
Yeah, and not only that, but now this other rubbish is going to be KO'd as well because Karl can just Ice Path. Oh, plus Silent Lab. Oh, wow. And then another Octillery to boot. This is...
So he probably needs to draw an energy. Maybe with the energy. Only was able to draw 1 card of the Octillery.
Wow.
So whiffing an energy would be bad. Yeah, he apparently just with the energy and is forced to retreat.
If he hits that energy, I think he just wins the game that turn. That is a big miss from Karl.
Yeah, he could have dropped down to 2 prizes and then maybe finish off the Drampa later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Rick still has to take 6 prize cards. But if there are really 9 items in Karl's discard pile, we'll see if the Treasure Lamp is just able to run over Karl.
Not only that, but I think Karl's just low on energy generally. You think about the amount that's already been discarded, the amount of acro patches that have been played. I think that Karl might just be out of energy resources. And there's a Lysander as well, so wow.
2 prizes for Nick this time.
Bringing up the Ninetales, Trash Launch for 210 exactly. 2 prizes for Rick, and now I guess.
Karl has no immediate ways to deal with those Garbodors. Looks really difficult for him to win this game now. I mean, he only needs to take 3 more prize cards.
There's the
energy here. It's always the next card.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, he can heal up a little bit, but healing doesn't help him too much anymore. I guess.
So again, he might be maybe having this to run double colorless. So there's an ultra discarding Kukui and a water energy. Let's see. Maybe he's just checking if he actually has double colors.
Yeah, that and also thinning out his hand.
Yeah, of course.
Getting rid of some cards so he can draw more for Octillery.
Yeah. So let's see the magic happen. He needs a double colors. He needs it this turn. Can he get it? Octillery. This hand number 1. I don't see it. There's an acro patch.
Yeah. So he's got that already. Now he can do Octillery for another card. And there's the DCE.
Wow.
And now he can just Ice Path and maybe win the game next turn. Obviously, Rick will try to end him, but Karl has 2 Octilleries in play, and there's no way for Rick to get out Garbodor in this game because his Trubbish was just knocked out.
No, but what Rick can do, of course, is that he does have. I mean, he's got the KO on board. He's got a Garbodor with a Psychic Genji and a Choice Banner ready to go. What Rick needs is an N, and then Karl needs to draw Lysander and an energy.
Yeah,
I don't know. Actually, he needs more than that.
He needs to knock out the Drampa, so he would need another Acro Patch. Actually, I think 2 Acro Patches, a Lysander, and an energy attachment.
Oh, that's actually a lot.
That's a lot, even with Octillery.
Yeah. I mean, there are 2 though, so it's.
Yeah. I don't even know how many Acro Patches were played already, so might be the case that that's not even possible for Karl, and he will just promote an Octillery next turn and hope that it's getting knocked out and attach manually.
Yeah. I mean, we can make a rough guess. I mean, there's 14 items total in Karl's deck, and there's 11 of them are in the discard apparently.
Yeah, so maybe he has 3 Acro Patches left or something like that. That would be great, but I don't think so.
No. But in fact, I know that's not the case because we've seen him play. I think
at least 2. Right?
Yeah, and possibly even 3. He's got 1, 2, or 0 left.
Yeah, so surely we're gonna see a Trash Launch knockout. Then Karl needs to promote probably Octillery if he is not sure to have game already.
And there it is, retreat and Trash Launch for way more than enough at this point. There's a knockout.
And there we see Karl promoting the Octillery, a 1 prize not attacker. The one-press Pokemon, there's the first Aqua Patch. So it's great to have the Octillery in the active spot because Rick can't just KO the Octillery.
Yeah.
Because then Karl just comes up with the Ninetales and maybe has the last enough for game.
Yeah, sure. And well, actually, Karl drew quite well off the end in the sense that he drew a lot of cards he can actually play. So he drew the Aqua Patch, he has the Silent Lab.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't affect him at all, so he's fine with that. And then, so he's got do Octillery. Yeah, I think he's looking to see just how likely it is to actually happen. There's one Octillery.
Yeah. He surely wants to see an energy attachment as well. There we go. There it is.
It is, yeah. Although that came from hand.
And he also has the end. That's also important. He needs to end on Rick to 2.
Yeah.
Rick will have game if he draws a Lysander, but with the end, it's not unlikely that he actually whiffs the Lysander.
Especially with the Silent Lab.
Yeah. And next turn, Karl maybe only needs DCE plus Lysander to retreat and knock out the Drampa.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much that's the objective for Karl.
Yeah, that's what it will come down to basically. Does Rick have the Lysander, and if not, will Karl be able to close out the game next turn?
Yeah, and yeah, it looks like Rick's looking. Rick's.
Yeah,
he got it.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah. There it is.
He's trolling Karl. He's not trolling. He's got it.
Yeah.
He's got game. And as we can see, Karl had the Velocity and the DCE. So if Nick with that turn, Karl would have won the game next turn. So a very close first game. Going to Rick, but yeah.
Wow.
Actually, more intense than I would have expected. Actually.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I would have expected Rick to win that from the beginning. You know, I mean, Rick's start was so bad. I mean, actually, this has reminded me a lot of the top 4 game because they're the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. Like it was kind of similar. Ryan had a not optimal start game 1.
No,
not at all. But he was still able to come out on top. Quite differently actually than this game, but Rick with 2 energy attachments. I mean, he got all his Pokemon, but he with 2 energy attachments, which is normally not what you want to see, but it didn't end up mattering too much, and he was able to win by basically removing Karl's energies, letting him enough time, and then forcing Karl to play so many items that Crash Lunch was able to pick up one shot.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, okay, so that's one game. There's still 50 minutes left on the clock. So these guys are going to set up for game 2, and I mean, Karl knows what he has to do to win at this point. You know, he's fully experienced this matchup. He will have tested this matchup, like, you know,
Actually,
a lot of times.
I think Karl always builds his decks in Starbucks playing against his friends, so he's not testing too much actually. He's just brainstorming a lot and thinking about what might actually be a decent play in the format, and so far he's been right. A lot of times actually Karl is the inventor of the Lapras deck that we've seen.
Yes, he wasn't
quite
he?
successful in the past format.
Oh, that's really good.
He was the first one to play it with a strange list, to be fair, but he made top 8 at Marvel League Cup, and thanks to him, actually I think Lapras won a regional in the US as well, so he invented a quite successful deck.
Yeah.
And it looks like he has done it again with this variant of Alone Ninetales.
Was he the first person to play the Alone Ninetales deck, or?
He wasn't the first person, but I mean, we had Gustavo Vada being successful as well, but Karl's list looks really unique, and his approach is definitely different from others. So I think
4 rough seas and everything.
Yeah, 4 rough seas, 2 Silent Lab, only 2 choice band, no float zones, only Olympia, and also two Professor Kukui, things like that.
Yeah.
It kind of separates his list from others and make it a different deck really also. Because our Pokemon Center did that much healing. It's just great.
100%. It looks like Karl was actually able to draw pretty well off of that Sycamore. He did manage to get 1 Vulpix and 1 Rim Raider leaf, so that's fine. You know, it's better than not being able to get any of those. So we take those. And with going back to Rick's side, we see an Ultra Ball for what used to be like Lele for a Sycamore. And he's got a DC and a Switch Pad in the end as well, so actually he'll be able to do a tasty bit of early pressure damage onto this type of Lele with his own Lele, which is cool.
Yeah. Interesting enough to see Karl attached to the top left in the active in the first turn, but we see Karl doing kind of these straightforward plays a lot of the time, where you might think, oh, that's kind of risky, but that's just Karl's playstyle sometimes, and it has worked out for him so far. So.
I also think in that particular instance he was going to lose the DC off the Sycamore anyway, so he just figured, you know what, even if we take extra damage.
So he didn't have the Vulpix down yet?
No, he got that from the Sycamore.
That makes sense, of course. You don't want to just type DCs with the second. No way.
Especially considering, sure, you'll take more damage, but you're not going to get knocked out because of, you know, attaching a DC there, so it's fine.
That's true. So it looks like we see another Sycamore.
Yeah.
Karl actually only playing 2 Professor Sycamore, another strange thing in this list.
Oh my god! Oh wow! Yeah, I forgot about that. But 4N.
Yeah, 4N, 2 Professor Sycamore. So quite heavily attacks against Garbodor again.
Yeah.
And obviously you don't need too many Sycamores, I guess, with artillery being able to help with the setup.
No, exactly. Most of the time there's too many resources you want to discard, and so an N ends up being, you know, preferred a lot of the time.
So now it's actually going for another Aqua Patch. Surely he wants to evolve the Vulpix to a Ninetales as soon as he can.
Yeah, because if not, that's very risky. The Tapu Lele looking at that Vulpix thinking it's a very easy knockout for me.
Only a lesson away from knockout if Karl isn't able to evolve to a Ninetales this turn.
So there's discard the retreat, and
it looks like he actually has to go for a beacon to set up his Ninetales. And if Rick has a Lysander, which is quite likely, he can just take out all of Karl's energies.
It's pretty big. And
yeah, we'll have to see what Rick can do here. And looking at his hand, can we see a Lysander? Oh, we can't see everything quite yet.
No. Let's see. What's the draw for turn?
Obviously, if you have a Lysander right there, it's an obvious play. You just clamp on the Lysander.
Yeah, there it is.
And there is the Lysander. That's huge. That's so much early pressure from Rick.
Yeah,
also, the Tapu Lele on the bench is also heavily damaged already. It's going to be knocked out at some point during the game. So
again, this is starting to look like the top 4 game, because remember in game 2, Ryan went ahead early as well.
Yeah, Ryan had a big early advantage, although I don't think it was this big.
No, maybe not. Actually, that's very true.
But to be fair, Rick only took 1 prize of that, so Karl didn't lose too much. He lost a lot of energies, and maybe that'll come into play later with those Team Flare guns and acid spray plays at Rick's disposal. But for now, Karl is still fine. He can go ahead and just attach energies from hand. Actually, what's suboptimal for Karl is that he had to attach a water energy this turn, so he can't really do much with this Ninetales for now.
Oh, yeah, that's really huge.
But also it's stuck in the active, so the Tapu Lele could just do some decent damage to the Ninetales. Not quite putting it in the range of Ice Path being dangerous, but dealing just enough damage to 2-shot it.
Yeah, so with that in mind, Rick has he has an opportunity to capitalize here. He can even do something like he said, there's another Vulpix down for Karl. That's pretty good, but if Rick has another Lysander, he could just attach an energy, get rid of another Vulpix. I mean, it kind of does the job of carrying Ninetales in the sense of it's not 2 prizes, but it's 1 less attacker that Karl has to work with. Although, having said that, then maybe that would make it a bit risky for later. I don't know. Rick's obviously in a very strong position, but he's not won the game yet. Far from it. There's 5 items played from Karl's side so far, so that's Trash Launch doing 100.
That's actually more than we see Karl playing usually.
Yes, actually, this is true.
We've seen games where Karl was only ever playing 4 items to the whole game. So now he's already got 5 items in the discard pile, and he hasn't even taken a prize yet. So.
And also, one of them was completely pointless as well, because it just went to the Vulpix, which got KO'd. So it's like he helped Rick do an extra 20 damage for nothing.
True.
Oh, so there's a field blower as well. There's a really good draw from Rick. And there's 6. Of course, that means there's 6 items on the discard pile, and already it's very early turns in the game, but Karl's already starting to get close to the item danger zone.
Yeah, of course. Also now, even if he plays down Rough Seas and he has 30 damage, he'll be left with 60 damage on the Ninetales, which is exactly enough for Trash Launch to knock with a choice button.
There you go, and that's really bad news if your name is Karl Peters.
Yeah, you're really looking to heal something if you're Karl, and I guess that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
He
There you go.
Lysander's a Trubbish and uses Ice Path to knock it out. But now he's already used his Ice Path quite early into the game, so that's surely not what he wanted to do.
No, it's not what he wants to. But I think in that situation, it was both the right play and necessary. You know, it's
true. But now Rick can basically do the same thing again. Now there's no danger of Ice Path, and also powering up a Drampa now. There are more and more threats, looks like.
Yeah, it's Rick is actually Rick is playing this series really, really well. Actually, not only that, with the Ice Path threat now gone, Rick just retreats into the Tapu Lele surely, and does energy drive for 110 with the choice band.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, perfect two-shot range.
Yeah,
even with rough seas.
And that's exactly what happens. Oh, was there an issue? Oh no, okay, it's been fixed. Karl needs to.
He really needs to get a different Ninetales going, but actually, if he wants to do anything at all, he probably the best thing he could do this turn. It's highly unlikely, but the best thing he could do this turn is attach a DC to the active, play a Rough-Seas, play a Pokemon Center Lady, play a Choice Band, and knock out the Tapu Lele. But those are so many cards, and everything apart from that is quite suboptimal because his Ninetales will get knocked out if he doesn't heal it. But he also kind of has to deal some damage because doing 50 right now is not getting him anywhere.
No,
really.
No, definitely not. And with he has one artillery out, so he can do a little bit of digging, but he doesn't, because you saw last game where he had even though he ended up losing, he had the point where he had two artillery set up, and he managed to get that huge turn with the DCE because he had access to artillery, and he was only one turn away from losing, from winning. So it was
actually has a DC and choice planning. He went for that aggressive play. I mean,
it's
kind of risky.
Yeah.
But we've seen Karl over and over again go for these risky plays. I mean, he can power up his bank with Acro Patches, but he already played 6 items, and playing more items will get him in the one-shot range eventually.
Yeah, I would say eventually, not only that, so if he plays one Acro Patch and then the Ninetales goes down, that's 8, because the choice band will go into the discard pile as well, and then one more item and then that's it pretty much.
So we'll see now, still at 110 damage, didn't manage to find a Rough Seas.
Yeah, and Rick's hand is huge as well. I didn't even notice that, but Rick's hand is absolutely huge. He's got the Ultra Ball, he's 100% got the knockout here. In fact, he might even choose to, because he can get the knockout with Drampa, I think. No, that'll be short actually.
Yeah, he'd need a choice point to do that.
Yeah, because there's no damage on anything on the bench.
I'm assuming he'll just go for a Garbodor.
Yeah.
Garbodor can also do decent damage to everything else in the board right now. Right now, two-shotting a Ninetales is not a problem anymore because Ice Path was already used. And again, the Tapu Lele on Karl's bench is already damaged, so that's also a range for Garbodor.
Yeah.
So we might just see a clean swoop from some Garbodors.
Yeah, and also not only that, but really none of these Vulpixes are threatening. Oh, sorry, even if they become Ninetales, because Karl has no energy on board. Maybe he attached a DCE does 50. He'd have to have another insane turn of like attach, Acro Patch, something else in order to even do anything remotely threatening. And even then, that's more items in the discard.
Yeah. And even if he manages to do that, I mean, he's getting knocked out right back by a Garbodor, and even if he doesn't, it's only one prize.
It's,
Right now, Rick's definitely in the advantage here. Now he's even got a teammate, so he's probably going to get some Garbodors, maybe a Trash Lunch and a Garbodor in one, maybe 2 Trash Lunch ones, maybe he's grabbing a Trash Lunch Garbodor and something to put himself further ahead in the next turn, but it seems like he went for the Garbotoxin and the Trash Lunch.
Yeah. And this makes complete sense that you got the attacker, you even have a backup Trubbish in case you end up doing that. Yeah. You've shut off his abilities, and there's even
And Karl actually needs huge card combos to come back right here, and the only way he's gonna get that most likely is with Octillery, and now he shut down the Octillery with the Garbotoxin Garbodor, and again, Karl's playing no field power, so there's no way out for him.
No, there really isn't at this point. I would be... I know we've made some sort of maybe too early predictions before, but I would be shocked if Karl managed to find a way back here. And it's not that I don't want him to. If he found a way back from this, I would be
It would be awesome. It would be great to see for sure. But right now,
unlikely.
It's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Karl, actually, we've talked about it time and time again. Karl should be favored in this matchup on paper, but it's worked out not the way that Karl's predicted it to be. And to be fair, not the way that we've predicted it to work out neither. So yeah, this matchup seems to be kind of close overall.
Yeah.
If the opponent, if the Garbodor player knows what he's doing, and like discounting energies, putting on early pressure seems just a way to defeat this Ninetales deck.
Yeah, definitely.
Just force the opponent to play down more items, and once items hit the discard pile, there's just nothing stopping Garbodor in this format.
Yeah, and then it's also that turn Karl wasn't even able to attack. He just had to beacon for what looked to be a Remoraid and another load of Ninetales. And
that's just another free prize for Rick right there, and it seems like it's just one Lysander away from Rick winning this game, because he can just knock out the Tapu Lele that's already damaged on Karl's bench.
Yeah, and there's an hen as well.
Yeah. Now Rick's just looking to minimize the odds of whiffing his outs to win the game on the next turn. Probably playing down every tool he can, every Garbodor he can, and just maybe even playing Ultra Balls and discarding cards that he doesn't need. Just thinking out his deck. That's probably his plan right now. He got the second Garbodor going already. That's actually also big if Karl were ever able to manage to knock out the Garbodor. Now he's getting knocked out right back by the second Garbodor.
I actually think there's no way Rick loses right now, not with the second Garbodor in play, because that's... Wow.
And Karl doesn't even have too much in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, scooping now. I mean, you can scoop now because you're probably going to lose this game anyway, but it's the finals, it's the last game, so...
There's no reason to not try.
Want to hang on until you lost for sure. Although I think it's reached this point.
Yeah. There's another Bridget, there's a Bridget getting down a Remoraid just to get it out of the deck, I guess.
It looked like Karl will just pass, and then either Rick's just knocking out the artillery or even the Hess game with a Lysander.
Yeah. There's a silent lab. I don't think that changes anything really. And then the draw from Rick. Does he have the win in hand? He's looking at his discard pile. He might not. I think. Versus Seeker. There. Oh, okay. There it is.
Karl probably told him you have the Lysander.
And
there we go. Rick Verwaal wins 2-0 over Karl in some great games.
Yeah, really, and a huge congratulations to Rick as well, overcoming an unfavourable matchup.
He did the best he could. He played it so well and actually managed to overcome Karl Peters in this finals game.
It's an unfavourable matchup, and to win 2-0 as well. He didn't even lose one game.
And Karl wasn't even able to put up much of a fight.
No.
It was a pretty convincing win from Rick. Wow. Rick is our regional champion.
Yeah, he is.
There we go. So I guess we can't use that image.
No.
That image. So that's useless right now.
Yeah, that's incorrect.
Guys.
In fact, we need to. In fact, what we can do is if we can make maybe an edit, we can change this to instead. I guess add a quick thing here.
Not champion Karl Peters. As you guys saw, I can see our money was on the wrong guy.
Yeah, and we were both incredibly wrong, but there's nothing wrong with being wrong. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Right, so I guess that's it then.
Yeah. We from Limitless TCG are surely going to make some interviews with both Rick and Karl and probably both the top 4 competitors as well. So look forward to that on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/LimitlessTCG if I'm not mistaken. And I think so far so good. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Nothing more to say actually.
No.
That's been Philip Litsiewski and Nicholas Anthony Pierce for Limitless TCG and Play the Championships. From the Liverpool Regional Championship.
Before we sign off, I would like to say thank you very much again to you, Philip, and to everyone from Limitless for inviting me to be a guest for today. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating with you.
You're a great commentator, why not? We thought yesterday I was commentating alone, and while that was also fun, I was always thinking like, oh, a second purple director would be great. And luckily you got thrown out of the tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we could hear your lovely voice too.
Well, thank you very much, Philip. Again, it's been an absolute pleasure. You've been really great. It's been a great tournament. It's been a really lovely, actually. And yeah, again, congratulations to Rick Verwaal of the Netherlands. He is your 2017 Liverpool Regional Champion. So that puts him in the lead for CP, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's at 200 CP right now.
Yeah.
Actually, with the League Cup in this August, he could achieve his invite before even it gets to the rotation. That would be so great. Invite before the rotation. Yeah, the European invite is 250 CP, by the way, which is kind of a joke this season.
It's very achievable. And
but also for the top 22, Rick's put himself in a great spot.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, he has. He has the best head start he could ask for. In fact, this would probably put him in good contention for the stipend for the Oceania Internationals as well.
He's probably already locked up his top 16 Oceania stipend with that, and maybe even has a decent chance to get a top 4 stipend and get his whole trip Finance Square travel award.
Yeah,
so
who knows?
Great for Rick. I mean, the snowball is rolling.
Yeah, the snowball is rolling. But that will be all from us. So again, as I've already said, from both of us, goodbye, good night from me.
Yeah, and good night from me as well. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It was a great tournament. It was a great stream, we hope. Although we had some technical difficulties, I hope you enjoyed the stream, nevertheless. So, bye guys.
Goodbye.